Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. I am Mika Zaniel and I am back with another video finally. And I thought it would be a great time for me to record a video about my experience on level 2 fieldwork, since this is the season of level 2 fieldwork for OTA students. I'm not sure if OT students complete their level 2 fieldwork around the same time, but I do know that the months between January and June are the typical months for level 2 fieldwork. So I thought it would be great if I share my experience and maybe give some tips that can help you pass your level 2 fieldwork. So if you find this video will be useful, please continue to watch and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And let's jump into this video. So first, let me put that out there. I did not like level 2 fieldwork. I did not enjoy it. It was really stressful for me. So if you don't know, level 2 fieldwork is for 16 weeks. I got to pick between two different settings that I wanted to work in for 8 weeks at each setting. And you're being graded by your clinical supervisor at that setting. They will make the final decision if you pass your level 2 fieldwork or not. I do have some notes jotted down because I can get off a track really easily. One of my settings that I worked in was acute, and I had my treatment session was for 60 minutes, and I really didn't know how to provide therapy for 60 minutes for a patient. I didn't know how to carry out those treatment ideas or treatment sessions for 60 minutes. So I would get a patient, the patient would start the treatment session that I have with them, what I ask for them to do, and then they'll finish it and it's like, oh my gosh, I still have 45 minutes left with you. What am I supposed to do? I would get in that place where I'm just like stuck, and I'm like running around the gym looking for things that I can have this patient do that is therapeutic for them and that will help them towards their goals. Next was learning how to document in detail. While in school, they teach you about the SOAP note format, which it kind of still is the same with the electronic documentation. When you write your notes, it needs to be so someone after you can read it and know exactly what you did, and they can go back and do the same treatment and do exactly how you did it just by reading your documentation notes. Of my first few weeks, I struggled with document because in school it's always about the it's all about the SOAP note format, because documentation is really important. And now that I have been working in the field as a coder, when I read other people's notes and it's just so bland, I'm like, oh, what did you do? I had problems with transferring patients. So during my time during OTA school, where we didn't spend a lot of time on how to properly transfer a patient. And I'm a small lady, okay? So when I would get these heavy patients, I was like, do you see me? How I'm supposed to transfer this patient by myself? But with proper body mechanics, it can be done. And I can say that I had helped transfer a 600-pound patient, not by myself, but I have been able to transfer patients that are like 300-400 pounds with proper body mechanics. So one day, my clinical supervisor pulled me to the side at the end of the day, and we just worked on proper body mechanics and how to transfer a patient from different positions. So those were the top things that bothered me with level 2 fieldwork, that stressed me out. I knew that I was being judged and graded throughout the program, well, throughout the time there. I didn't know how to provide an hour-long treatment session. I didn't know how to document in detail properly, and I was not confident in my transfers. So to learn from my mistakes and to help you guys to succeed through level 2 fieldwork and what I think would be beneficial and can help you. So first, I'm going to say 2 weeks before your start date to reach out to your clinical supervisor. If that means by email or phone call, just reach out to them like, hey, introduce yourself, let them know that you're scheduled to start your level 2 field work in a certain amount of weeks. Is there a particular dress code that I need for this facility? What is my start time? Is there a particular code that I need to get into the building? What side of the building do I need to go to enter the building? So that's what I would email or call your clinical supervisor for, to get that basic information. Very important, and that can help alleviate any stress that you may have going into level 2 field work. Next, I would say know your basic vitals. Take a little notepad with you. During my level 2 field work in both settings, I had a little notepad with me that I would carry with me throughout the day, and I would just write notes that maybe you took notes on how to navigate through the documentation system. It's very important that you know the system. I know it's a lot to learn within 8 weeks, but you have to do what you have to do. I just took notes on the system, like where to go to get to the patient chart, where to go to define this and that within the patient chart that would be useful for me to help better my treatment sessions. If you're not comfortable with the patient, such as the patient's being inappropriate with you, or if the patient, like I know I had one patient that he was a heavy stroke patient, and I just felt like me as a student, I just didn't have the skills at that time to properly treat this patient. It's okay to say, pull your clinical supervisor to the side and have that conversation. Just be like, I'm not comfortable yet treating this patient because I just don't believe that I have the skills for it. I would feel more comfortable if I can observe you treating that patient, that way I would know what to do and how to treat that patient when the time comes. But as of right now, I'm not comfortable. And lastly, I would say you would not know everything. When I finished my level 2 field work, I did not feel like I was ready to be a coda. I did not feel confident, but I was so glad that it was over. And my next thought was, let me pass my license exam. But take what you can from it. Try to learn as much as possible. Try not to get too wound up. And I don't know if I mentioned it already, but also have a moment that you sit down and talk with your clinical supervisor about how you learn best. Some people may be okay with the clinical supervisor correcting them in front of other people. For me, that was not my learning style. I was like, if I'm not doing something right, correct me at the end of my treatment session or the end of the day. Don't correct me in front of the staff members. Teach me and correct me in private. So it's okay to have that conversation with your clinical supervisor. I think the sooner the better. Another thing that helped for me, like I mentioned earlier, I had issues with coming up with treatment ideas for 60-minute sessions. So what I started doing was I would go home and write down at least 5 different treatment activities that I would work on. And I still use that method till this day, and that's because it works. It's good to have at least 5 different treatment ideas in the back of your head of what you're going to work on with each patient, because say a patient is not feeling well and they don't want to go to the gym or they don't want to get out of bed, it's good to have a backup plan on what you can work on with that patient, whether they come to the gym or not, whether they want to get into bed or not, because you don't want to be stuck thinking, what am I going to do, and running around the place trying to find things to work on with the patient. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below and I will get back with you as soon as possible. If you have any suggestions on a video that you want me to do, please leave a comment and I will try my best. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will get back with you shortly. Bye.